Hi Leo, welcome to your mid-June 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Let's see what we've got going on. This is the post-eclipse edition. And I'm like, technologically, I've been wiped out. No, I mean, not 100% or I wouldn't be able to do this, but wow. I don't know about you, if you've had any kind of weird situations that seem like calamities. Let's see. But so that affected your fifth house, or fourth house, depending on what your chart is like. And so this can sometimes produce revelation, some kind of, or coming to some understanding. Yes, and I see that reflected here. I see that reflected. Yeah, you see, especially for the fifth house. But it could be the fourth house for some people, which is more home environment. But the heart of the matter is the Ace of Swords. This is about, to me, the sword of truth, of seeing things very clearly and therefore being able to make decisions based on that clarity. So in other words, not kind of running around with like a chicken with your head cut off because you don't have the facts and you're just kind of running on emotion. It's like, you know, especially if you've been lied to by somebody. I have fruit flies and I have these bananas sitting on my table here, and I'm afraid they're gonna just they're coming swarming over there. And as a matter of fact, if you see anything flying, it's probably a fruit fly. I've got like these big swarms of them because I love fruit. And but anyway, this can be something that feels good because you now have the truth and you're able to move forward. However, it doesn't make it easy in terms of what you may have learned, you know, in the past week, or if this is an ongoing situation. Sometimes the eclipses affect people even before the official date. So this may be something you've been dealing with for a while. And we even have here in the past position the Six of Swords, moving away from kind of turbulent waters, choosing peace, maybe physical relocation in some instances. And I'm getting more of a vibe of a personal relationship with this particular reading, which goes along with the eclipses, whether it's family or a love partner. But of course, you know, since it's a general reading, we can just keep it about anything that you're moving away from, because maybe there was deception involved, and now that you can see it, you're a lot more able to kind of figure out what to do. It's not the same kind of confusion that you had in the past. And at the higher message is the Eight of Wands, which can be that you have, that there's a lot of potential energy here, which means that if you have kind of like been stalling in your life, like for instance, let's say you were involved in a toxic relationship and it caused you to kind of, I don't know, not do as much in your other areas of life as you wanted to because you're kind of bogged down emotionally in that. This can actually mean that once you get yourself back on track, everything is like all systems are go. And it's really, you're in the beginning stages of this. You're just gaining the clarity, so it may take a little while to fully embody this, but it's on its way. And wands relate to fire energy like Leo, so that's really good because fire energy is actually forward moving. It's not stuck in the past, and it's independent. And, Leo is a very romantic sign, and you're a very warm-hearted, generous sign. So anytime a person like you has, feels a sense of betrayal in some way or disappointment, it can be, like I said, for some of you, this eclipse occurred in your 4th house, which is connected sometimes to your family of origin. And it can mean, distancing yourself from some of those people because you realize that they're just dragging you down, but it doesn't make it easy. It means, because sometimes we're not so simplistic that we just have one or two emotions. Sometimes we're very mixed. We feel like, even with one person, we feel like this, I don't know, complex feelings about it. There's certain things we love, there's certain things we can't stand, and it's hard to just cut somebody off like that. But it may be something that we have to choose for our own sake, because then, see, that's what I'm kind of getting at here, is that if somebody's behavior towards you, or just behavior in general, caused you to kind of be paralyzed in your emotions and therefore your actions for a stint of time, to some degree, which I think is kind of that post-traumatic stress disorder kind of a trigger, where something triggers it, and then, because I know, the reason I'm speaking about this is I know personally how that feels. And the feeling of guilt of, wanting to protect yourself or wanting to honor yourself can be great, because you worry about that other person sometimes. Or maybe there's more than one person that you're trying to kind of distance yourself from. And you feel like, that they have problems and you want to help them, but you realize that it's kind of like the wild trapped animal, that it bites the hand that feeds it, the person who tries to help it attacks it. So you have to sometimes distance yourself from that, and it is what it is. And once you get free from that, it's like you just come alive again. And speaking of coming alive, we have another, this is the challenge, is the Death card. And it can be that inability to accept that things are fully over, and wanting to hold on to something. I was going to use the word cling, and then I thought, I wonder how many Leo people watching this have either or both, or one or the other, Cancer, Mars, and Venus and Mars in Cancer, because that, you can be a Leo and you can have your Venus and or Mars in Cancer and have more of that tendency emotionally to cling to the past, to the good times, remembering being sentimental, remembering the times that were good, and conveniently forgetting the hell on earth occasions. And it's human nature, but it's time to kind of let this go. When July rolls around, actually later this month, in this time frame, when the sun goes into Cancer, that's going to be your 12th house, and this will be the time to kind of go within more and focus on what you want to let go of, so that when you have your solar return, either in late January, July, or August, into August, that you are full systems go, like the 8 of Wands. Isn't it funny that the 8 of Wands, the 8th month is August, and the number 8 in the tarot is, in the major arcana, is your card, the Strength card. So, in a lot of decks, not in all decks, but what's coming in, or the advice, is the 5 of Swords. Know your enemy. I don't like to say it like that because I don't want to provoke paranoia here, but definitely know what you're dealing with certain people, because they may you may think that there are people in your life who are supportive of you and they're part of the problem. Of course, this is due to the fact that you may be a very popular person. You may have a lot of people in your social circle. You may be quite outspoken when you're dealing with things, and you just trust, rather naively, that people are going to respect your confidence. But, obviously, when we have a close friend, that can be somebody, or a partner that we trust, somebody that we can talk to about certain things. I mean, it would stand to reason, hopefully, that you would have somebody in your life like that, but it's about being indiscriminate. Not everybody who smiles to our faces has our best interests at heart. And, being a Sagittarian, another fire sign myself, and of course there's Aries, I think that we're kind of puppy dogs. We're very open, authentic a lot of times, unless other things are going on. And so, and we want to be helpful to others and be positive with other people. And we don't realize that there are people like the Five of Swords who are going around talking about us, saying bad things. It was so funny. I remember working with this woman, and she wasn't from the United States. She was from Eastern Europe, and she was a Scorpio. And she wasn't, too bad, but she was angry. I don't know why she was even defending herself, but she was talking about gossip, because the Five of Swords can be about gossip, and slander, actually. And she said, I don't know if I think she said gossip is when you say something talk about somebody and it's not true, which is really slander. Gossip, you can say, I think there's usually a negative tinge to gossip. But in her mind, if it's true, even if it's negative, it's okay to talk about somebody, behind her back, as long as it's true. And certainly when I was younger, I loved, hearing about people. And I still, I think that trying to keep up to date with what's going on with other people is fine. What we're talking about here is backbiting. We're talking about, in the workplace. And that's why when I get this card, see, there's other people in that background. Sometimes this is a card of an empty victory, where you win the battle but you lose the war because of your behavior. So an example would be if somebody, let's say it's an inheritance issue, and let's say that you have I'm not saying you, but somebody has a narcissistic parent who leaves all their money to you, and the other siblings are outraged. Hurt is probably a big emotion, and you're just and you hire a lawyer and you say, see, it's an ironclad will, and da da da, and you win the battle, but you lose the war, because the war is about, why are those people, are they just greedy and they want the money, or is it symbolic of the whole relationship, the parental relationship, that you were always getting excuse me, you're always getting some kind of you're getting favored and they were left behind, and this is just like the final blow. I'm sure that there's a fair amount of Leos who would say, you know what, I don't want, my siblings had to suffer at the hands of our parents our whole lives. I want to make it right and give them a fair cut. But there are some people, for whatever reason, whether it's greed or their own narcissism, that they think that they're entitled because legally, I was going to say legalistically, but legally they were. So looking at it from that point of view. But I have a feeling that this is coming on the other end. Because with the Ace of Swords, the truth is coming out. And maybe what is happening is people will come out of the woodwork. That might be what happens as well, is you'll find out. If, let's say that your partner cheated on you. You'll find out. Maybe even your friends will say, yeah, we knew about it. We didn't want to hurt your feelings. Whatever. And that can feel very upsetting. Now, this is interesting because the outcome card is the Lover's card. Now, normally I would say, oh, wow, that's really great. You're going to find new love. But I have a feeling based on the other cards that this is a different meaning and it's a choice. Just like with that Six of Swords, perhaps you've been, planning to move or something along those lines. But with the Death card in the challenge position, you may be still in a state of flux and you still haven't decided how you're going to play this out. For instance, if this is a workplace issue, and especially I was thinking too, if you relocated for a new job and then found out that it's not all it's cracked up to be, you have a choice. You can cut your losses, or you can and move on, or you can try to make it work. But if this is and in those kinds of situations, it might just be a money thing where you're just like, well, I can't afford to just leave now. I just spent all this money moving and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to, call in arbitration. I'm going to try to get some help with this because I feel like somebody's been deceptive, with me. But the same thing with a relationship. If a relationship is over, it's over, but you still may be saying, no, I refuse to believe it's true. So, it's like being at a crossroads and needing to make some sort of decision about the next phase in life. And like I said, you can use this next month as contemplation. What do you want to do? But checking in with yourself at a deep level, Leo, and maybe spending more time alone than normal so that you can fully listen to yourself, not other people's opinions. Because like I said, the Five of Swords, people may have other agendas of what they want you to do and why they want you to do it. And that might not jibe with where you're at the moment. Okay, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you'd like a personal reading, a lot of my readings are astrology based. I do offer a special deal for, it's called the Whole Enchilada, which is a full-length natal charts and transits reading, along with a full-length tarot reading for a special price. So that's on my website. You can access that by the link below. And have a great day. Take care. Bye.